people have been asking me, like, why are you not on YouTube? Like, why did you take a break? Why are you taking so long to come back? Are you coming back? When are we going to see you again? And I made the decision after that second surgery, when I kind of had that emotional moment, to pull back, because I needed to just make sure that I could take care of myself.
So she decided to pull back when her Christmas sweater line flopped. All right, Anna, be honest.
I love that.
Well, hello, beautiful people. It's Mama Goob. So I didn't think I was going to film today. Kind of late in the evening. You'll probably be seeing this sometime on Saturday. So guess who's back? GlitterandLazers. She posted a video today called We Need to Talk. So this is either a very special episode or complete clickbait. I have no idea. I've not watched this video. I've not watched any of the reactions that are already popped up. But I figured we would take a look at this together for the first time and let's see how, I don't know, if I'm a predicting person, I am guessing that we're at fault and she needs to tell us off. We'll see. So without further ado, it's almost 30 minutes, 27:37. So let's just get right into it. All right. So we're already starting with the dramatics where she's in the hospital with ginger ale. Okay. Or this looks like the emergency room. So chances are maybe her stomach. I can't imagine in the ER that they give you a ginger ale, though. I don't know. I don't recall. I don't know.
That was a lot. It was a lot. I have been waiting an entire year to like live. And I've had to live this half life for like 12 months. And so now I get to just go be me, but like better.
Okay. Sorry, my tripod is blocking whatever this says. This journey was incredibly complicated and difficult. While we've done our best to capture it, some parts are impossible to show or explain. Ooh. We're going to have lots of music to edit out.
Did you miss me?
Because I'm back. I know that I have a lot to fill you guys in on, and I do really want to explain why I took some time away. But first, I feel like I need to catch you up on everything that's kind of happened since my last video. So,
oh, we know, sweetie.
Right now, I'm actually leaving for my next surgery tomorrow, which is kind of wild to think about. I can't believe it's tomorrow. But I need to pack because I, of course, have not, because that's just who I am. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll see you at the airport.
Do you think she still needs a 1 or 2 or 3 seats?
So obviously I already made a bunch of videos about surgery number 1, which you can watch here. There's a link up. But the whole objective of that surgery was to clear out my pelvic girdle and the outside of my thighs. And the reason they did that in surgery 1 is because it was the worst, the most congested area, and it was the place I was experiencing the most pain. One thing I definitely learned that I didn't anticipate was that it's a lot more emotional of a journey than I thought. I thought I would just bounce back and I would just be my old self right after surgery, but your hormones are like all over the place and it's tough. And I don't like resting. It's just not something I like to do. And that was very mentally challenging for me.
Oh, I could see that. Like, I'm like that too.
To be in a place where I had to literally lay low. Like I already said, you guys have a lot more information.
But she's been TikTok, and Instagram and shorts, so she's not been completely out of the limelight.
About surgery one because I made those videos, and so I don't really have much more to add than what I've already put out there. I do need to kind of update you guys on surgeries 2 and 3, but I also need to catch this flight, so I'm gonna go, and when we get to Utah, I'll fill you guys in about those surgeries. Next stop, Utah.
She's in 2 seats. And why Utah? Thought she was in California.
So we got to our hotel, and as you can tell, it is
Who's we?
Almost nighttime. Surgery 2 was an interesting one. It was to take care of my inner thigh, and I decided, and I, in hindsight, feel stupidly decided to go alone. I'm just waiting and shuffling around the room.
Who would she have brought?
Well, it's weird to not have someone to talk to. Last times I did this, I had someone with me, so I had like someone to talk to. I think that's so far the only thing that bothers me is that there's just no one to talk to while you wait. There's no one to talk to except you.
You could talk to us, Anna.
You, internet. And that's why there really wasn't a ton of content around it, because I was on my own and I was very overwhelmed and it was not fun. And if there's one thing I learned from surgery number 2, don't go it alone. You don't need to be strong. You don't need to be superhero. You are there to heal. And
She's hitting the ceiling in that car, huh?
I have a little bit of a superwoman complex. I can admit that. Like, I want to.
She has to come in and save people?
Feel like I can do anything, and this I could not do alone. Okay. Straight up.
Jeez, her skin.
I am about a couple hours post-surgery now.
And didn't she pay for a nurse?
And I hurt. So I have a feeling that this recovery period is actually not going to go as smooth as the previous one. I don't think it's going to be unbearable. I don't think it's going to be something I can't deal with. But I'm already realizing that, like, every surgery is going to be different in terms of pain. And every surgery is going to be different.
Inner thighs are probably really painful.
Right, in terms of who you are. So for me, I just happen to have a lot of fibrosis on the back of my legs. And we knew that from when we did parts of my knee on the outer side. But I was not prepared for how I feel right now, because I had such a great first experience that I thought it was like, I'm just going to be fine. I honestly think I will feel better standing and walking than I do laying, because laying forces me to put pressure on the places where the fibrosis was removed. I feel like I need to talk about this in every video, but you will fart and burp a lot. Like, a lot. And okay. You will feel gross. It is normal. And I think there's a certain, like, acceptance that happens after, like...
Why? Like, it's not like they operated on her stomach.
The 3rd day of all-out fart.
Oh, it might be the anesthetic.
For your life. Where you're just like, this is me now. I'm a fart factory. And then it'll stop. So, I am today fart factory. I'm owning that truth. One of the things that was really hard
we could have lived without that information.
Second surgery as well is that I was not fully recovered from my first surgery. It was 2 surgeries really back to back, coming out of recovery and then going immediately into another surgery. And when I say recovery, I mean like the very initial stages of recovery. And this is something that I realize people do not understand. They expect like the results to be immediate. And I think that's because people are very familiar with like weight loss.
Because
surgery, where you do
weight loss surgery, the results are not immediate either.
See results very quickly. Like, people begin to lose weight and they're like, oh, her body's changed. That is not how these surgeries work. The recovery period for these is up to like 18 months to 2 years. So that's all I really have to say about that. I am tired. I'm also hungry. So we're going to go get some dinner. And the next time I will see you guys will actually be tomorrow morning when we are taking pre-op photos, because it's at 9:30, which means I got to get up at a terrible hour. Pray for me. I am so tired. Good morning, internet. I am here at the Roxbury Institute now, We're going to do my pre-op
So
photos.
she's back in
Get
California.
ready for surgery tomorrow.
Why was she in Salt Lake City? I think I zoned for that one.
Oh, and I'm going to tell you guys all about surgery number 3. With that, let's get going.
Wait. I'm so slow. Did she have her second surgery in Salt Lake City? That wouldn't make any sense.
I'm actually late.
I told you we would liven it up shortly.
Yeah.
He was like, it's quiet around here.
Hello.
He was like, it's quiet in here.
Not for long, buddy. I got a big mouth and a big heart. I literally don't know what the hell I was thinking.
And a big butt and big thighs and big arms and...
Changing up the location of my final surgery. LA is at this point very familiar to me. I know how everything works. I know the whole staff. I know the procedures. Even though technically those things are the same in a different location, it still feels completely brand new. So I had a weird amount of anxiety going into this surgery because it just wasn't familiar.
So let me give you a thing about me. Her hair, the hair bothers me, okay? Dirty hair drives me crazy, like living in dirty hair. So before any surgery, any whatever, the closest to my surgery as possible, I wash my hair. And I brush it. But no, she's got to make it known that she's suffering.
Here. So every time before we actually have surgery, we take what's called...
And it takes no time to brush your hair, guys. None. She has very thin hair, too.
Pre-op photos. And this allows us to compare pre and post surgery. And it's highly controlled. So like your body's in the same positioning. I wear the same exact underwear set every single time. And it just allows you to have a really fair comparison. We talk a lot about online about how comparisons aren't always genuine. People are standing in different ways, wearing different clothing. Things are pulled up higher or lower. This allows a real, true, honest comparison before.
But honestly, you'd think that they would use a tape measure.
Before and after. And I have really focused on making sure I always have the same underwear set. I always have the same pose.
Especially if you're not really going to see any results right away.
Poses. I'm always smiling in my photos. I don't want you to think that I'm like sad at the beginning and happy at the end, because that's bullshit too. So I like that I have this to be able to show like the results in a real, like almost scientific way. This is the last time I will take...
Almost, but not quite.
...take these photos before surgery. Though I probably will come back to probably LA to take a final round of photos in about a year. We're doing a second round of photos like this just because I am having torso surgery and we want to be able to specifically see the torso.
Wait, so she's had her inner thighs done at this point?
Underrib does kind of hide that, so we'll have different photos for just this surgery. That's it for the pre-op for this last surgery. Just so excited to be done. Like, I have no...
You're far from done, baby girl. Far.
Regrets about doing it, but I am ready. I'm ready to close this chapter and get to live. Right across from the surgical center is this like farm. I don't know what this is, but there's cows.
Maybe they are in Utah. Boy, I don't know. I'm slow.
And there's sheep. There's a lot of people. And I figured we'll just find a place here because it's so pretty to sit down and chat. And I can...
I love cows.
Finish updating you on all the things that I need to update you on. But man, points for having surgery in Utah is this.
Moo. I moo at cows.
So in my third surgery, I had my calves and my arms done, which included a brachioplasty. And what this meant is simultaneously my legs and my arms were at a very incapacitated state, especially my arms. I can actually move my arms a lot more than I thought I would be able to. I can go up to 90 degrees. And honestly, it's less painful than it was before surgery. So
there's her nurse.
I love it. Also feels real weird. You're worried about lifting or doing anything, so you really just can't do much with your arms.
That's a good diet.
Your legs are kind of messed up. So for example, getting up, when your legs are weak, you use your arms, right? But I couldn't do that.
No.
So there are times where I literally...
You know what's probably terrible? Getting on the toilet bowl.
I had to physically be helped getting in and out of bed, which I did not love because, again, if you haven't catch the theme of the video, I'm not good at taking help from other people. And I think
same.
Physically, that's why it was so challenging for me, is I did have to really step back in surgery 3 and rely on other people. I'm a little woozy, so we in a wheelchair. Wee! 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 Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a real... Okay. So now I'm going to wait for her to get the car in this wheelchair. So we're back to rolling bandages. We've been kind of intermittent.
Did you tie-dye them yet?
Filming this trip mostly because it's hard. My hands are tired and I'm actually feeling really good today. So this is like kind of the first day. So I haven't been able to self-film, which is what I usually do. I actually am kind of proud that I can wrap the bandages today because I don't think I could have done this before today. So progress. I wasn't in pain, and that was like the hardest part about it, is like every day I knew I couldn't do these things, but I wasn't getting signals from my body that I was in pain.
That must be nice.
And needed to stop doing them. I just knew to follow my protocols. I couldn't do them. So like, you can't raise your arm above 90 degrees. You can't lift more than what would be a gallon of water. So like things like putting on your compression where you use a lot of force to pull them on is hard. So I had to stand there while somebody else pulled my pants up. And that is, it's a way of being humbled that I never knew I would experience.
Well, why did they do her arms and her legs on the same surgery? That doesn't make any sense.
I did actually have some additional complications, which then extended those physical limits from the usual 4 weeks to like almost 8 weeks. So double the time that most people experience. But you know what? We're going to talk about that more because I think at this point it kind of crosses over to how it affected me emotionally. And I think that's a whole other topic that I want to address somewhere a little less public. So we're just about to go to the operating room and start the procedure. I had all these things planned. I was going to film for TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. And you know what? I'm not doing them because I'm nervous and I just want to have the surgery. I just want to have this.
Yeah, but are you in breach of contract now?
Surgery, and I want it to be successful, and that is where I want to put my energy right now. So yeah, I kind of threw all of my plans out the wall, which is very unlike me, but you know what, it feels good to just put my needs first and focus on this whole long process. It's going to be about 6 hours of surgery, so this is not a short, simple thing. It is going to be intense. But they're hoping that I will have pain reduction immediately. As you could see when they were doing the markings on my arms and stuff, I am having a lot of shoulder and elbow pain, and just holding my arms up is quite difficult for me right now. So these things will allow me to...
Magically. She tried so hard to convince us otherwise that she could do anything. And then she has the opportunity to get surgery and suddenly everything hurts.
Do things that I used to love a lot that now are kind of hard, like my makeup and my hair. Those are sometimes challenging things for me right now. So I think it's going to open up a world.
Did the pain get worse once she decided she was going into surgery? Like, she had her hair braided before.
World of possibility of what I feel comfortable doing. This is probably the hardest part of the surgical process to talk about because it's like physical pain is easy to explain and easy for people to understand, but emotional pain is really challenging to describe. And it's all relative, right? Everybody feels things differently. And I guess that's true for physical pain too, but I think people comprehend it better. My third surgery was really hard because I had a complication. I had what's called spitting stitches. Now, it is normal to have a couple of those, but I ended up spitting every single stitch of a certain type, which ended up creating about 35 different wounds on my arms.
Oh my God.
Which required me to do a lot of wound care and to stop a lot of my activity to like the bare minimum, keeping my arms elevated and literally just not moving them to try to let those wounds heal.
Oh my
It's
God.
also why I started hyperbaric therapy. And it was rough. And I took that.
They give her a wound vac?
On myself. I thought it was my fault. I thought I was a bad patient. Wow. I thought I was a failure. my doctor always said to me through the surgical process, like, you can't win surgery. And even though he said that every single time we talked, I couldn't believe it in that instant. I blamed myself a lot. It's been really hard. And I'm not going to sit here and cry because I feel like emotionally I've moved past that. But there was about 2 months where I was probably the most depressed I've ever been because I couldn't do anything that I normally did. Like, I couldn't even, like, get a plate from a counter, right? And my physicality was so limited, and now it was limited for an even longer time than I had mentally prepared myself for. On top of that, just like I talked about in my previous surgeries, there were a lot of hormonal changes, and it just compounded to a place that I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Fat does have a lot of hormones in it. But wait a minute, though. It's not that kind of fat. I don't know then. I'm at a loss.
A lot of people have been asking me, like, why are you not on YouTube? Like, why did you take a break? Why are you taking so long to come back? Are you coming back? When are we going to see you again? And I made the decision after that second surgery, when I kind of had that emotional moment, to pull back because I needed to just make sure that I could take care of myself.
So she decided to pull back when her Christmas sweater line flopped. All right, Anna, be honest.
I love making content. I love sharing my story. I love connecting with you all. And I love, educating on lipedema. But my first priority was my health. And my health was just not at a place that I could do that. Mentally, I was not in the right headspace. And I was incredibly grateful that when I went through this huge, massive emotional struggle around surgery 3, that I didn't have that extra burden. I have not logged in or looked at YouTube in probably 5 months.
Well, you turned your comments off. Somebody's been uploading on YouTube.
And I probably won't look at YouTube, mostly because I don't think it's a really great place for me. I think the hardest thing...
Yeah, because you can't control the negative comments. I mean, critical comments.
About being such a public figure, going through something as, challenging this in like a bigger body, is that people have a lot of opinions about it, and they...
Bigger body. Bigger.
Honestly research your life in a way that I just never anticipated. I don't honestly think I'm that important or that interesting to have merited the content that came out of...
You're actually not.
This journey from other people. It was something I did not emotionally or mentally plan for in any way, because I just didn't think I was that important.
Yeah, she's not talking about me, but there are some really good videos out there. I can't remember what his name is, but he did like a whole documentary on this lipedema surgery. It was interesting. And then the next episode, he got the doctor to come in to talk to him. I thought that was really good.
I know who I am. I know what I stand for. And if people want to question that or recast that narrative, that doesn't change who I am. I'm here for the people that need to learn about these surgeries, that need to be educated about these illnesses, who also need help, who don't know where to go, don't know where to start, don't know what it looks like. That's what I'm here for. And if anybody has an issue with that, then that's them. I think what I hate most about...
Well, yeah, because, you got some quack doctors who I seriously doubt she got it covered under insurance. I just, I don't know. But any responsible doctor would have said, lose all the actual fat you can first.
This whole situation, it's not so much that people have said stuff about me, because I think that just happens being a creator, but I think it's been seeing my fans get so angry for me. I just want you guys to know that I'm okay. And I appreciate you, and I am so grateful for all you've done to, like, stand up for me, to show your support for me, to check in with me. Like, I know I'm not the best at sometimes talking about that, because sometimes I feel weird. It's weird. I didn't expect to be here in this position, and sometimes I'm still figuring out how to communicate that in a way that feels authentic and like...
Authentic.
Real. But I do not think I would have been able to get to the place I am right now in kind of looking at all of this without realizing just how many people out there have my...
So if you really cared, you would just do the surgery and then disappear for a year completely and then come back. You know, if it's like life or death for you. Oh, I can't remember who said this. Somebody said this. Fit and fat. I don't know. I honestly, there's so many reactors right now, but whomever was saying that this is like a 5-year fix. All this for 5 years? And that's another reason why there's no way insurance would cover this.
Back, but also how many people out there that I've actually like been able to help by finding diagnoses or just finding strength that maybe they'll get their answer to their, you know, medical issues. And so I think
Oh, she's talking about her podcast.
I just feel like if I don't acknowledge you in this, I'm that would be the failure of this video, is to spend all this time talking about the frustrations of this process without acknowledging that, like, I'm only here in this point having this conversation with this camera because so many of you have been there for me. And that is really, really the only reason that I'm back is because of y'all. Okay. Well, I need to go get something to eat and get ready for surgery because that's happening tomorrow. Again, for the last time, for a while. I might have to have other surgeries in the future. I realize that, so I don't want to say forever, but at least for a long time. For a long time.
Well, 5 years, and then you're going to have to redo all this, especially if you manage to gain more weight, which everybody pretty much agrees that you have been.
And that's something to be really excited about. Good morning. I'm very tired. It is 6 a.m. I've been up pretty much all night. I foolishly thought this is going to be the surgery I sleep through the night. It was not. I was up all night, and I guess that's just consistent with every other surgery I've had. So I'm exhausted, but that's fine because I'm going to be like, have a sleep for the rest of the day. So I can rest in surgery. I'm all surgery prepped, and they're kind of just getting everything ready. The anesthesiologist will be here soon.
So at this point, she's had her arms done, right?
So now that markings are done, everything's done, it is time for surgery. So they are going to go Hebe cleanse my body and get this rolling.
I mean, I guess her arms do look better.
I don't know if we'll have shots from this. This is a little bit more difficult to film while also keeping it appropriate for the internet. So you might just see me on the other side. I guess you'll know in a little bit if we were able to film or not. So I'll take you guys later.
Apparently not.
So I just had my first MLD post-surgery. It's kind of weird because of all the surgeries I've had, I feel like the most normal, the most me, the most comfortable after this surgery. I don't know if it's because it was the...
By the way, MLD. I don't know if you guys... I try not to keep up with Amber Lynn, but I sort of watched her through one of the reaction channels. Talking about, I guess this was a question people asked her, that she did the manual lymphatic drainage MLD and she was sore the next day. It hurt. Sweetheart, it wasn't a Swedish massage. If your MLD hurt to the point where you were sore the next day, you didn't do it right.
Last one of just like some magic is in the air.
You could have probably did more damage to your lymphatic system.
In Utah, but honestly, I feel great. And if anything, I'm having to like temper down what I want to do because honestly, I feel really good. After this, you know, I still have 2 weeks or so of recovery left, but really this is the end of my surgery journey as far as I know. And now I get to just live. So yeah, literally no regrets. More strong than I've ever said it in my life. No regrets on this decision. I feel like how I feel right now.
She looks very unproportional, right? Or disproportional.
Now is
her arms
weirdly
are considerably
amazing.
Smaller.
And I didn't anticipate
those sleeves, those green. Those sleeves, those that from the green shirt, they would have been very tight on her arms.
to feel this good. I didn't. Okay, so we're back from Utah. I am 2 weeks post-op right now, so honestly, I'm starting the like journey towards just getting to be Anna without surgery looming over her head anymore. It's hard to explain that like each surgery changes you a little bit more. It's not like you get out of surgery one and everything's magically fixed. You have to go through all of them. So you're kind of having to play this like faith card of like so much surgery before you get to see like the big results. And so, that was a crushing anxiety on me. Like, I don't know what I would have done. I would have blamed myself.
Yeah, most of these were made into reels, or she's just taking pieces of her reels.
Fortunately, I did start to see like the big changes really right after this surgery. By the time I left, Salt Lake, the day before I left, I was doing, over a mile walk at the little farm that's across from the center there, where the cows and all the cute little animals are. And honestly, it was a great distraction. So I wasn't really thinking about how much I was walking, but to be walking that much and feeling still really fine after it, was unusual. And then the Salt Lake airport is notoriously very long if you're not flying Delta. I was not flying Delta. And I walked the whole thing. I didn't get a wheelchair. I didn't get help. I did it by myself. And I felt totally capable and okay doing that. There have been times where I have flown home alone, especially surgery number 2, where I did not feel safe or good or that I was okay and was kind of terrified the whole time flying home. When I think about like what I learned through this process, I learned a lot about myself personally, but then I also learned a lot about myself as a creator, which is like a weird thing to have to also learn, but I did. Personally, I learned that good things take time, that sometimes the only way through is through, and that it may not make sense the whole way through, but you just have to like trust the process. And there was a lot of trust in this journey and a lot of like moments where maybe I didn't share those moments as much, but you wonder in the end, will this work for me? And I mean, honestly, I still don't know. So I still have a little bit of that like heaviness, but I'm trusting that process. I'm doing the things my doctors want me to do.
She's doing all the things.
It's gotten me to the place I'm at right now, which is significantly better than when I started. It's helping me realize that some of the bigger goals and the bigger things.
Wait. Yeah, that was before your surgeries. See, like, look at her arms. Her arms are definitely smaller now.
Things I want to do with my life, which may or may not have anything to do with the internet, are going to take time, and it's going to be frustrating the time it takes.
Yeah, I wonder what this summer will have in store for her. I wonder if she gets to go on another fabulous Disney cruise.
But if you can stick with it, you will get there in the end, right? I believe I will get there in the end, and I think this journey has taught me that.
She's trying to be inspirational right now. Let that sink in.
Publicly, I think what I learned is that I don't owe anybody an explanation or a justification for why I've made the choices I've made for my health. And, this year has been really awful in terms of the way people have spoken about me online, have, critiqued what I've gone through, and to be going through something.
Yep, that's our God-given right in the United States. It's called fair use.
She just woke up. Something as traumatic, like surgery is traumatic. It is difficult. It is heavy emotionally. It is heavy physically. It's heavy socially. It's heavy financially. Like it.
Yeah. Bullshit. You got it paid for.
Hits you in a lot.
You know what she could be talking about? Her paychecks have probably gone down a lot. I don't know how much she makes off of Instagram and YouTube. Instagram, I don't think you make money on. If that's correct? And TikTok, I don't think it's that much. So, if at all. But, and those Christmas sweaters were a flop. So I'm not sure if that's what she means financially, the hit she took.
A lot of different ways. And to have people jump in and add an additional layer of trauma or try to add an additional layer of trauma, maybe
Well, you guys, again, are people banging on her door critiquing her? No. I mean, you could accidentally stumble upon something on YouTube, but then you turn it off. Like, I don't know, guys. I just don't feel bad for people who are worried about what other people on the internet are saying about them. And they're a public figure. All right? You don't have to watch it. If people want to like say, "Ooh, did you see what so and so said?" You could block that person. But it's not like you're a teenager and you're getting bullied by half of your 8th grade class online. No. She doesn't have to see any of us. She doesn't have to see any of this. I do not feel sorry for her. She is letting her opinion out there, and I am sharing my opinion.
Me realize that people who feel comfortable doing that to someone are not people I should listen to or people I should invite into my life. And so, honestly, this surgery has helped me create boundaries. It's a weird thing to say, but it's made me realize that
Look what I could do.
I deserve to protect myself. Like, that no matter what I do in my life, people are not going to like parts of it, and they're not going to believe.
Well, I wish she'd get back to fashion hauls. I liked those. That's why I started watching her.
Me, or they're not going to want to support me. Like, that's life. And when you are a creator that is like really freaking public, and you're going to get a lot more of those people because you're just have more eyes on you. Mm-hmm. I've had some pretty crazy changes in the last week and a half. It made me realize how much I was carrying and living with and putting up with and not acknowledging, simply because I didn't know that there was anything different than that. And so, if anything, I'm walking out of this just so much more grateful to the person I went in, who did a lot of really incredible hard things in a body that just did not cooperate. And so,
good job on getting out there.
You know, it's making me really think about how do I be part of the change in the way people see and understand this illness. So it's just changed. It's changed everything. So the simple answer is it's changed everything. And it is changing me in ways that I don't even know yet. When I think about what's next, obviously I'm back, and I will be bringing back hauls because I have heard.
Oh, good. Good.
Too loud and clear, you miss them. And you know what? I'm excited to do that.
And I'm sure she's going to have a fantastic summer while the rest of us are sweating and working.
Now with my body changing, it's going to be fun to like just explore my new ride. I basically had the human version of Pimp My Ride. So I want to explore, you know, what works for my body now. And then that'll be fun to do with you guys through hauls. And I think there will be more than that. But I'm letting myself be open. The reason I'm back is because I love this community, and because y'all have reached out, and because you've been so kind to me and so supportive and so encouraging. And it made me realize that I need to find ways to connect more with you. It's just the beginning of something really exciting and fun.
Well, the first thing that you could do is not block comments or shut comments off. That's a great way to connect.
And that's taking me back to where all of this started for me. It's been a lot. We've talked about a lot. And I feel like I needed to do this to just like catch y'all up on like where I was, what I did, et cetera, et cetera. So now you know. Now you know everything that's gone on, what I've been through, et cetera, et cetera. And now we get to start having some fun. So with that, I hope you find joy in your life today. I hope you find a reason to smile.
I will have joy if you have honest comments.
And I'll see you guys next time.
Wait! We got robbed. We didn't hear peace. All right. I think it's going to be a fruitless search, but let's see if there's any comments. Sorry, I just had to let the dogs in. They were crying. Come here, Coopy. This is Cooper. This is my sister's dog. Oh, he's just a puppy. Oh, now Bella's mad because I'm holding Bella. Cooper. She's very jealous. But they've been having fun. They like to play. All right. Good job getting out there. I'm new to your channel, but I work with a surgeon who does gastric bypass and Rue and Row and Mom, so, the dog, that actually change people's lives. Hope you feel better and heal on your journey. Anybody comment on that? No. I'm skipping the ones she loved. I miss your clothing hauls so much. I hope when you feel up to it, you start them again. I agree. Wow, she's really hearted a lot of these. All right, so that was about it. Her comments were very clean, which is fine. You do you, girl. I don't think she told us anything that we didn't know, except I didn't realize she had so many complications after her arm surgery. It kind of makes sense. I'm glad she's coming back to YouTube because, like I said, I love watching her videos and I love reacting to her videos and I love reacting to her videos with you all. So, but anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by and I hope to catch you on the next one. Bye.